Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Edge of Adventure podcast. My name is Adam Asher. Great to have you with us today. Thanks for joining us. My privilege today to introduce you to Tania Herrera. She's joining us from South America, from the country of Peru, in a very small, picturesque town called Huarán, where she owns and operates a bed and breakfast called Casita Huarán. We're going to get to know her today and get to know several of her projects there in this town where she is helping to take care of the people and the town that she loves so much. So without further ado, let's introduce you to Tania Herrera. Tania, great to have you on the show.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tania Herrera. I am from Cusco and from a small town called Huarán in the Sacred Valley of the Incas. And I am 34 years old, and at the moment I'm running a small project in the town, and we are trying to create opportunities here, like fair opportunities for local people, canalizing the big opportunity which brings the tourism and the town, so that development can go directly to the most vulnerable people in the town, empowering them and creating big opportunities with them.
Thank you so much, Tania. Again, it's so good to have you on the show today as we get to know Casita Huarán. We're going to get to know you as well and these wonderful projects that you have there in Huarán that help to take care of the people and the community. So let's start with a pretty simple question. It goes something like this: what is it like running a bed and breakfast in Huarán?
For me, it's like kind of different, because I am a local leader and I'm a local person, and we have big connections with the community, but we are struggle a lot trying to go out and show what we do and we want to share with our visitors. We had di- direct contact with our friends and neighbors who know what we want to do and what we want to create, which is a bridge between our community and the expat community and people from outside who want to know deeper about what we are and what we have to offer. And we run this in a very, very small way, but our experience was so beautiful, and we have learned that there are so many opportunities if we can connect in the right way, for all of us. No, people from outside were so happy learning about the things what we are proud about from our community, our traditions, our activities, the way we treat people from outside, the way we welcome them. They all were very happy about knowing deeper the culture and deeper who is behind all those services, and also knowing, who is getting a benefit from that, and in what way this visit can make us more rich, but not in just with money, more rich with experience, exchanges, and empowering. And yeah, for our community, it was also like a big bridge to open opportunities for, just with our small business, that the connections we can get through them, the big opportunities we can open together with our community. And yeah, it was like very, very inspiring to get people from outside who really want to know us and who want to share us, and respect the way we work together and we live together. No?
This is The Edge of Adventure. My name is Adam Asher. My guest today is Tania Herrera. She's the owner and the director at Casita Huarán in Peru, in a small town called Huarán in the Sacred Valley of the Incas. It's great to have her on the show today. Now, this is a for-profit endeavor that she runs, but she uses this for-profit endeavor to help take care of others, to help make a difference, to serve other people. And she has several projects that Casita Huarán helps to make possible. So that is why we are featuring Tania Herrera and this bed and breakfast, right? Bed and breakfast in Huarán, Peru. Such a quaint location. We're getting to see some pictures today. And if you are not getting to see the video version, right, if you're listening to the audio version right now, you definitely need to check out the video version so you can get to know Huarán and Casita Huarán a little bit better. You can find out more at theedgeofadventure.com. We always have all the links for you there. Okay, well, I think what we need to do now, Tanya, is help us understand a little bit more about life and culture in Huarán, and at the same time, help us understand what some of the challenges might be.
Yeah, we are absolutely like we used to be, no, agricultural town, so like farmers. And in our town, we have two very different parts. The low part is very, very like we are in the middle of the Sacred Valley, and the highland part is above 4,000 meters, and it's like a very rural community. We all used to work with farming and raising animals and selling our products to have an income. But the last 10 years, like corn, potatoes, beans, vegetables are our flags, no? And the commerce, like trying to sell this product was the main way to have income. And now the tourism is getting bigger, and it's getting it's having a big presence, and there are a lot of new opportunities but also big challenges, no? Like the whole Sacred Valley is growing so fast, like becoming a big industry of hotels, restaurants, and people are selling their lands, their fields to have a big income at once so that they can invest in other small things. But we are losing the most precious thing what we have, and which is the nature, the view, the water, and our main resources. No, we are not having like a system that we will keep using it this in the future if we stay or if we keep selling our fields and our lands and building big hotels and building big restaurants. That's why we try to keep our 2 hectare lands, but also trying to have a big opportunity with the tourism, no, like opening a small bed and breakfast, but trying to keep our fields and our lands to produce our own food so we could be self-sufficient. That was the first idea, our first goal. So to protect the resources we have, but also have a window to have a better income. And that's why we opened the bed and breakfast. But we also realize the other issues what are in the community, like the difference between the low part of the community and the highland part is so big. So the low part used to have big fields where you always can have enough food and variety of products and fruits and vegetables. But the highland part just used to have their alpacas and potatoes fields, and they sell that and they weave, but that's everything they have. So, and there are not big opportunities for education and nutrition, and they used to come here. But the main issue here that I used to face is that we normalize that, so that the people from highland communities, we know exactly what they have and what they don't, but we used to romanticize that kind of life, and they struggle so hard, and the kids have to do much more than the normal kid to have access to education, to deal with discrimination, with like less resources, less economy. And yeah, we used to forget our maybe not our responsibility, but the idea that we could do something to change that. under the words that they are used to. And I don't think that that's the truth, and that's why we have a small resource, and my family, my sisters and I could have great opportunities for life, and we could study, we could learn other languages, and that opened us the door maybe to open a bed and breakfast and to have access to the tourism. But we want also to be a place where this positive impact can be reflected into our community and into these highland communities, and welcome them here um, with all the opportunities we can get.
Tania Herrera is my guest today here on The Edge of Adventure. Of course, my name is Adam Asher. Great to have you with us. Tania is joining us from Peru. And Tania, it really is great to hear how you've taken your small business, your for-profit endeavor, and you've turned it into something to serve other people. These wonderful projects that you have. So certainly an honor. We're going to get to know more about those projects, more about the needs and the ways that you and your team help to meet the needs of that community there. But I think before we do that, we've already gotten to know you and your heart a little bit. I want a commercial now. I would like you to give us a commercial. Tell us why someone would want to travel from somewhere far off, some other place on the planet, and go to Huarán, Peru, to Casita Huarán, to spend some time with you guys there.
For our bed and breakfast, we invite a lot of local people to be directly involved in this activity, in every activity we share with our customers. The best thing we can offer is ourselves, our family, and our community, and have a very familiar experience with us, and connecting in a very human way with all our visitors and our guests. No forgetting the barriers that are between guests and service or hotel or restaurant. We welcome people because we love to share. We are proud of the things that we do, that we work with, and we share that with our friends, no, who are a part of this project. And we have a beautiful town, a beautiful culture to be shared, but it's very difficult if you just offer a service. We want to break that barrier and like welcome them as they would be a part of our family, and have like a very, very close experience with us and get to know us. Not just take great pictures, which are amazing here, but also to bring in the hearts like a beautiful experience that you could never forget. No? And yeah, also to know that your presence here is for us very, very precious. And every single speech, every contact, every tour, every single thing we offer, it teach us a lot, and not just us as a group of Casita Huarán, but open us a lot of opportunities which can give us a lot, no? And also maybe we can share everything we could learn, everything we live with, to make the experience from our guests and our friends more more precious and more valuable. I don't know. Yeah, but that's more that the thing we offer, that maybe it's hard to happen if it's just a service. No.
That makes perfect sense. Thank you so much, Tania. My guest today, Tania Herrera, here on The Edge of Adventure. So, Tanya, let's move now and help us all understand a bit more about the challenges that the people may face there in the community in Huarán, and what are some of the solutions. For example, I know you've made mention to the fact that in your life you had many doors that were opened for you. And now you want to open doors for other people. So help us know, like, what are these ways that Casita Huarán is able to help the community?
The first idea we have. So the project has three big parts. The first one, and that's what normally our guests used to know, it's our bed and breakfast. Work with the whole space is built in an ecological way, and just using wood and stones and earth bricks, and like to keep our land safe and respected. The other big thing is our farm, where we work with in a permacultural way. We are still learning from that. We are at the beginning of our big dream that we are working to make it true. And the third part is our social project, where we are trying to build a cultural house, which would be like a free open space dedicated to the children in the town, to everyone, where they can have access to educational materials, nutrition, like food, lunch and dinner, and opportunities for the older children, like to work if they don't have any kind of economical or financial support from outside, or sometimes from their parents. But this also should be a big bridge to learn a lot of things that they could use for their life. The idea to give support for their education is that a lot of children here have to work and take care of themselves, and it doesn't give them the time and energy to focus on their education. And that's why we want to make that path easier for them, so that they can have access to great materials and they can compete with other students to maybe dream to go to the university or become like a big professional, no? And not just follow their destiny and just be really bad in the school and just not hope for anything else better for their lives. And that's the program, what we involve in the other aspects of our project. It should work in a very holistic way, because our bed and breakfast is our big door to have access to guests from outside, which bring us um, a lot of value to our and the identity from the children, so that they forget the discrimination they have experienced maybe in the past. And with our guests, they can value that more than before, with their language, their traditions, and their strengths. And also to give us a better view from what we can do with our resources and how we can protect the things that we have. Because yes, we don't have like a lot of things maybe, but we have a beautiful land, we have resources, and how we can use that in a fair way that can provide us a better and fair life and a fair future. And our land, it should be like a small experimental tool, so that the kids can see and experience also like a ecological farming, and forget what we have been learning all our lives, how to grow with chemicals, how to kill with pesticides. There are other ways that could provide us like better resources, and other ideas that they could use just for themselves, or also in the near future to have an initiative with that and start working with that. So all the three aspects from our project should work together, because all of them are so important to get the sustainability and autonomy and self-sufficient what we want to do, and as a community, to create a better future for all of us.
Tanya, next question. What are the languages that are spoken there in Huarán? Anybody that watches The Edge of Adventure, anybody that keeps up with me at all, knows that I have a thing for languages. I think they're fascinating, and I find them to be intriguing, right? And they tie into the local culture. They're such a part of each of these beautiful cultures around the world. So I always like to ask questions about languages. Obviously, you speak English, but I believe Spanish is the national language of Peru, or at least one of the national languages. And I'm just curious, are there any other languages spoken there in Huarán?
Yes, in the big cities, Spanish is the main language, but we have a second official language, and it's called Quechua, and it's spoken more in the rural areas and highland communities. Here in Huaran, we speak both languages, and in the highland communities, they just speak Quechua. They don't speak Spanish. Yes, it used to be a language that people try to forget because of the discrimination, but now a lot of schools and universities are trying to bring that language back again, and they are like teaching Quechua in the school and in the university. To get your graduation, you have to learn Quechua as well.
Tanya, you mentioned discrimination, and so I'm going to ask the question: is there division between the different groups of people, people groups, different types of communities there in Huaran?
So that's a really, I think, I'm not sure if it's a personal question, but it's like what I've learned and what I think about that, which it it shouldn't be the main rule, but I think that we still are struggling with our the conqueror situation we faced, and still 50 years ago we were part of a big families owning lands, and they just had the rights to have resources, to have education, and indigenous people didn't have any of those rights, and the way they were discriminated was like we were less than them, no. And just 50 years ago it started changing, but the main idea never ended. So it goes it works as a big change of discrimination, like white people, the coast, the people from the coast used to discriminate the people from the Andes, and the people in the Andes from the cities used to discriminate people from the rural communities. People from rural communities discriminate people from highland communities, and the change, the never ends. And it's like not really called discrimination, but you will see it's a barrier between, always between two groups of people. You can see how, like in the jobs or places where people used to work, like in the banks or in the stores or in restaurants, in the service, you will never see a person, or almost never, I won't say never, but like people with traditional Peruvian aspects in their face, like working in a front or of somewhere, because there's still the thought. I think it's just the thought, if someone discriminates you, you will try to feel above some other people, and that's how it works. I've faced that in my community a lot, and that's really sad that we all think in that way. And yes, I think we try to feel always better than others, and that's how it works. And it's so normalized in some ways that people with their traditional clothes, and that they can't leave their bags and the floors from banks because they think they are dirty, but people with a city clothes, they can leave their bags, and that's like a big difference, no. And where, or if something happens in some parts, they think that it was caused by people from the highland communities. I faced that a lot when I used to go out with the children from the highland communities with me, and that was so scary how we all normalize that and like separate um, us in different groups, and we think if I don't know, like yeah, I could talk a lot about this.
Well, thank you, Tanya. I know that's kind of an awkward question, and perhaps I didn't ask it the best way possible, but you answered it very well. And I know it's, you know, not a fun topic to talk about. And so let me go ahead and add a little commentary to that. Racism, classism, wherever it is found, and it is found all over the world, but wherever it is found and however it is manifested, it is wrong. And I tend to think of it as really just proof of the brokenness of the human condition. It is not okay. And wherever it's found, it's not acceptable. Changing the subject now, let's get back to talking about you. Tell us when you first knew that you were called to serve other people in this way.
I always wanted to come back here because I am from Huarán, but I had opportunities to study outside, and I always wanted to come back here and do something first to save the land from my family, like not to sell it or not to build big houses here. But and I really knew that there was a difference between the people here, that I knew that there were some needs, but I didn't face it really close until I arrived here 5 years ago. And I thought I'm going to do something small, like have my bed and breakfast, have an ecological farm, and have local people like trying to help me and everything, like involve them directly and have like fair what's that, like income for them so that they can also have some opportunities here with our small business. And but since I arrived, like a lot of small children used to come asking me to help them with their homeworks first, and second, if we had a lot of materials now, and sometimes to help them to do uh, some activities or to use something from here, because it was like the first place where local people felt they were welcome, and they knew we were working with tourism, and they knew like a big door was open here. So a lot of people also used to come and ask me for jobs or for support in some ways, and we tried to do that. But at some point, 1 year after I arrived, maybe less, like I was sitting here with around 18 children, and I at the first time I really was like kind of scared because I didn't know why are they coming every day? What should I do? What does it mean for me? And I felt really bad to think about that because I was not supposed to be with a lot of children every day, and I didn't know how to deal with that. And I felt really bad to feel that way. But after that, I started like they started trusting me, and we started talking about their lives, and I realized they started like telling me as normal as it was how their meals were and what they were eating for breakfast and lunch and dinner, and how hard their lives was like. But just it was not in the way they were suffering. They just told me like as a story, as an experience that was normal for them, and that's why like they were trusting me like very heartbreaking things sometimes, where I thought like they were open me that big trust in them, and I had this information in my hands and their hearts and their confidence and their um that a big trust, and I thought I'm able to do something. So I'm young and I don't have like big things in my life, and I can start like I can do something, maybe not that much, but I really can. I have better opportunities, and I should use to help them in some ways, and like years after we working with them and talking with them, we figured out what were the main needs they had and the big issues they used to face at that young age. And yeah, that's what came out, like to create that center with all the kids could feel welcome and could feel heard and could feel respected, and like having them here happy and healthy, we could start doing workshops and learning together how to create a better community for the future and a better work, better opportunities for them. Yeah, like talking also with the kids who met me when I arrived and who never left this place. Some of them like started staying over the night, and like now they live with me. And I talked a lot with them, like what helped, why they came here, and what helped them, and what they needed maybe at some point that we couldn't give them, no. And we had big talks with them, and like the four needs, all of them were agreed, or we made like separate interviews, but all of them like found here, and they what were what they were looking for was a place where they felt as a part of the family. The other part was support for their education, good nutrition, and some opportunities for them to work, like but in a fair way that they could keep studying and doing or supporting their families. No.
Tanya, now I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about some things I know are important to you. What does it mean to go about tourism in a responsible way, in an eco-friendly way?
There are a lot of ways to like what we call responsible tourism, but more is like try to. It's a work also if you travel and you want to be responsible with your trips. It's like to try to get more information about the place you go, about the services you use, about who you are working with, who you are supporting, what the things are you buying, what kind of products are you getting. And if you, it's like more about information, like what kind of impact has any small action you have during your trip. And the main the main thing about traveling responsible is like the places are you staying, where is your, yeah, where is your food coming from, and also like what places are you visiting and what kind of impact has it, no. And who is working with you, which kind of agencies are you working with, if they pay fair to their workers, if they provide like insurance to their workers, and this kind of things, no. For sure the whole industry doesn't still is not working in an ecological way, but now there are a lot of small initiatives trying to have a better impact into their earth, into their communities and families, but they all are very small, no. I have met a lot of small initiatives who want to have a big impact in their community, but since we are like we can work with our hands and in our places, but it's very difficult to go outside, like to get people to know us. And that's the big issue we used to face, because for sure the big companies who don't care, not all of them, but who make really good money, they have like better access to people to invite them to their services, and we don't. So we are trying to create like collaborations with initiatives and agencies that try to focus on the sustainability to the tourism, because if we all use the resources that like us, the big companies are using them, so this is not going to exist in the future. Like what are we going to offer our guests in the future if we lose like the beauty from our nature, our products, our traditions, our um, like the things that people used to love when they visit Peru.
Thank you, Tanya. What is permaculture? That's my next question. Permaculture, what is it?
The permaculture is a system where you can grow and use resources like copying or using the way the nature used to provide us. Because everything we do, everything we use, everything that we want to create, it has been made by the nature, but in a very, very slow way. In a lot of native cultures have learned it and used these resources in a very respectful way. So the permaculture takes all this information from the Incas, from our ancestors, and try to put them together so that every part of the world you can use this knowledge to learn how to use the resources in a very responsible and sustainable way. Is that you create a system to use resources to provide yourself with everything you need, but all those resources you have been using are not overused, and you are like getting something, using something, but at the same time you are giving back to the earth. Like, and that helps you creating a sustainability. And what does it mean? It's just you can use an amount of resource or something now, but in 50, 100, or 1,000 years, if it keeps the way that you are using it, like people in 1,000 years can still use those resources. And it has a big impact in yourself, for your family, for the people use those resources, but it also never has a bad or a negative impact in your environment, and your like in everything that is around you. Like it can go from agriculture, from medicine, from water systems, from houses, from energy, from everything. So we are learning a lot about this. We can't say now that we are 100% in a permaculture system, but we our goal is like to get to that point that we are self-sufficient and sustainable, and that this system could be replied somewhere else, and like in 100 years, like other people can keep working in this way and still have the beauty from the nature, like um, not killing anything and not having any kind of impact in any aspect of lives, um, in our environment.
This is The Edge of Adventure. My name is Adam Asher, and my guest today is Tania Herrera, joining us from Casita Huarán, all the way from Peru. Thanks so much, Tanya, for being on the show. You are our guest of honor, but I do want to bring somebody else into the show now because we're talking business, we're talking travel business and travel agencies, and I think it would be important now to connect the dots and make sure everybody knows how I got connected with you guys there at Casita Huarán. It is through a mutual friend, Edson Chacon, who works with Kindle Journeys. And let's go ahead and get Edson into the show now. Bring him onto to the broadcast. Thank you so much, Edson, for joining the show today, and thank you for your friendship and for making the connection with Casita Huarán.
Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you for introducing me. And yeah, I mean, as I said before, it's an honor for me to talk to you, to be in here, and also it's an honor for me to talk about Tanya. Tanya for me is like a real Wonder Woman. So thank you for your invitation, Adam.
Well, thank you again, Edson, for joining the show. Great to have you a part of the program. And again, I appreciate your friendship. So one of the reasons, though, I wanted to get your perspective. One of the reasons that I wanted to have you on the show today is because you're running a business, just like Tanya is. And can you run a business and care for other things other than profit? I mean, I know profit's important because if you're not making any money, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. A wise man once told me that. So you got to be worried about making money, and you got to be worried about paying the staff, and you got all these other responsibilities. But can you be concerned about other things while running a business? And so I'd love to get your perspective on that. Also, as you tell us about Kindle Journeys, your travel agency.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. Well, we are a travel company that look for providing unique travel experiences for our clients, encouraging exploration, and seeking for this is the part I love, looking for transcending in our clients' lives and the lives of the people involved in the journey. Because you will see even now that many people, many travel companies, and many people that is in the business are trying to just sell things, right? Like go to much, come here to Machu Picchu, just visit, the waterfalls from somewhere else, and then visit Brazil. But it's not all about the outside world, right? And we focus on, okay, we will show you the outside world, which is great, but also what about the inside world? What about what you really feel? What about what you're really looking for in life? And that's something important because as the way your inside world is, it shows on the outside world. And we are focused on giving the clients the most meaningful and valuable program that they could ever get. And we do so by, you know, offering unique experiences like Casita Huarán, for instance. We're doing so by not giving them only the regular things that they will receive on the program, like visiting this place and, okay, as Tanya said, taking pictures in somewhere else. But what about you inside? Many people talk about the mindset, but what about your heart set, your soul set, your heel set? So it's very important for us to give that meaning included on the journey of any one of our clients. And we will deliver the program in a way that they will feel connected with the people, they will feel connected with themselves, right? And we do so by, as I said, right, by talking. You know, if you ask any client that travel here and you ask them, okay, so did you maybe had a time to stop and talk about what about your dreams, what about what was the motivation behind your trip, and they will say not really, we were taken from one place to the other on a tight schedule, and then we took a great pictures, and then it was a kind experience, a fine experience. But as I said, we look for transcend into people's lives, and the best way to live a life with no regret is to live a life with meaning, and that's what we're trying to give here. We try to give this meaning on the journey of every single client we have.
That's the voice of Edson Chacon. He is joining us today from Peru, and he has a travel agency, and you need to look him up. He is an expert in South American travel in general, so give him a call and you'll find out more. I guess you just probably easiest to connect through the website at kindlejourneys.com. So, Edson, again, awesome to hear your perspective on business in general, and I really appreciate what you guys do there at your company. But now, you need to tell us what you really think of Casita Huarán.
To tell the truth, I sincerely believe that this is a unique program. This is a unique place because of, even when Tanya was talking, and even if you talk to her by the phone or in person, you can feel the soul behind the project. You can feel not only the goal that you write, that you have written down in the cold paper, but you can sense the passion that she has. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy for anybody, that has the possibility to go outside and look for a better world or for a better opportunity for her. But to come back and say, okay, I have the chance to make something different here. To, as you said, Adam, to go beyond that school, right? And to start looking for, okay, I can produce a better way a better life for many people around me. And that's what I love about Casita Huarán. It's a unique program, and I know that because I have at least 20 years working in this travel industry, and I can tell you how many projects you can find in the Sacred Valley and even Peru. But the real thing about Casita Huarán is what I was feeling when I talked to Tanya, and I think that this is a real project. This is something that you won't go and there is nothing prepared. Like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that, like a clown. They will show you how they are. They will let you know how these kids live, and they will let you know what you can do to make their lives better. What you can do to participate, and that's what I love about this project. It's real. It's one of the I can say it with no uh, I can say it with totally true that this is a real project. This is a project that you will go and you will see the real life that these kids has, and how this team leading by Tanya, how this team tried to help these people in the community, and that's what I love about this Casita Huarán project.
That's Edson Chacon of Kindle Journeys, and he's talking about Casita Huarán. From Casita Huarán today, Tania Herrera is our guest of honor. And as we get now close to the end of the show, time to wrap it up. Let's cover a couple of quick details. Tanya, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you? Perhaps they want to come for a visit, or perhaps they want to help you guys out somehow, or just find out more. Who should they get in contact with, and how?
For us, they can reach out on their Casita Huarán, our web page, or our social media websites, and they are going to contact me directly because all the contacts are going to me, so I'm going to be the contact person. Yeah, and all the information is on our website.
There you have it. Look them up online at casitahuaran.com. And if you want to get in touch with Edson Chacon and his travel agency, you can look him up at kindlejourneys.com. And as always, you can find all the links in the descriptions on these posts, the website. You can go to theedgeofadventure.com, and we'll always have those links to help you get connected with the guests that come on the show. Time now for some final comments. Edson, let's start with you.
Okay, thank you, Adam. And well, that having said, I will invite you all to not only travel, but to look for meaning in our lives. We sincerely believe that the days are our are your life in miniature. As you live your hours, so you create your years. So as you live your days, so you craft your life. And what is a better way? And I think that we are all wired to service. We are all wired to generosity. And finding this besides the fun part, which means traveling, I think will give you a meaningful frame time on your journey. And I encourage you guys to visit Casita Huarán because this is a real project. This is the way you can help. This is the way you can help them to help more people. And this is the way you can connect with yourself, with the deepest part in your heart, which is connected to service. And thank you so much, Adam, for your time. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Edson. Again, you guys can look him up at kindlejourneys.com. And Edson, again, I just appreciate having you on the show. Appreciate your friendship. Okay, so time now for the final commentary, and it'll be coming from our guest of honor today, Tania Herrera from Casita Huarán. Tanya, as I turn it over to you now to wrap up the show, let me just say that I'm thankful that you came on the show, and I'm thankful for what you do. I'm very impressed by the decisions you've made to take your life and do something with it to serve other people. And your heart for people, and in particular for that community there that you call home, your heart shines through. So I just want to let you know that it does. And again, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak from my community, from the people I work with, and give us a space to share our voice outside in this time, which is very difficult to be here. And yeah, we just want to invite people to follow the development of this project. Now, we are still at the beginning of our dreams. We are still working on it, but you can keep following all the news in our social media, and our website is on the way to make like an interactive information portal to get people closer to us and give them the experience what we want to share, and everything what we are doing and all the process to welcome people to be part of this process even if they are not here, no. I wanted to thank you also, Edson, for connecting me with you, and it opens always a big door to outside, and it's amazing to work with people who want to be a part of a big change, even if it starts small, like to connect people to try to get our goals together. Thank you so much for this, and I invite you to come here, you both, and everyone who wants to join us in this project, but also to want to know deeply about ways to create sustainability and community. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you both so much for joining me today for this edition of the Edge of Adventure podcast. We have been talking today with Tania Herrera from Casita Huarán and also Edson Chacon from Kindle Journeys, both from Peru, different parts of Peru slightly, but it is great to have them on the show. So anyway, thanks guys. We will talk again soon. God bless you. Y gracias por estar aquí conmigo el día de hoy, aquí en el programa. Bendiciones.
Gracias por invitarnos.